Greetings today. Ben George coming at you live again. I think today we're going to just speak on some of the aspects of, or the greater aspects of, what one may consider to be equality, but not just from the general perspective. Today we are looking at equality from a perspective that is greater than anything that we have ever witnessed before in life. Now, for those of us who were born in 1978 and maybe somewhat in the mid or early 40s, what we want to convey to you is the message of the woman's right to the grandeur worth of the world's power and efforts. And, basically starting from the fact that she birthed most individuals into this world. But it comes with a certain level of pain and frustration, and a certain level of pain and frustration that does not allow we to adequately compensate for that frustration and pain without the advancement of medical science and technology as well. So we are looking into the focus of those who can see something as simple as the innovation of flying cars, or the modern medicine that, like the morphine or the other things that can take the pain away during natural childbirth and subside some of the sicknesses to the point where, it would be more or less a, no more than the pain of an everyday workout or an average day workout. So with that being said, we want to advance to something that many people used to take as a joke years ago. They used to call them test tube babies. And they would say that you think so analytically, you think so narrow-mindedly, you think so textbook, so to speak. You must have been a test tube baby. But I want the world to understand that the modern innovations of science and medicine were a grandeur representation of our achievements as a people. And they should be looked upon as no less than that. It's good that we don't have to trot around upon horse and carriage and things like that now, with the dung of the horse in we face everywhere we go when we have a nice clothes upon it. And you can smell all of this nasty things and feces. This is why we now keep the animals now. I don't even like house pets because of how man used to live upon yard. You understand? We know about many places in Africa, and they still keep the farms and they still keep the goats and the sheep and things like that, but it's not something that we can truly agree that it's something that we want to do. It was something that we did for survival. And one day, the Princess Aisha Hall, she says, I love all of the experience that got me to the point that I'm at, because she's very successful. But I wanted to say to her, I don't want you to love that. I say, if it was I focus, we would not love those I wouldn't say wicked things, but we wouldn't love those things before we would love our greater reaction to those things in the face of adversity. We would love our wisest reaction to those things in the face of adversity. So with that being said, let us move on to what we are truly talking about. Test tube babies. This is the focus of our conversations today. We want to help you understand that if you're a woman who has a real problem with what is going on. You have a dissension in your family, a dissension in your spiritual or physical elements because of some trauma from childbirth or some trauma from your growing up. There is modern technology since 1978 that would allow us to grow children in a test tube. Something about this size, if not larger, depending on if the baby is growing properly. We would mix the semen and the ovaries in something this size. Use that power to feed, or use that tube to feed the child intravenously until it grows large enough to be put into a larger tube and to whatever weight and pounds that we have decided the child should grow. Now, we would continue with this process as a relative law to any nation, any country who says that a woman can be put through so much pain for labor again without her, expressed consent. And most time women give the express consent, but years before now there were no other options. Because a woman is not going to carry a baby for 9 months and then, not make the most of that. She has been wise for many years. The few who were not suffered greatly for it, and we don't have to get into the Salem witch trials and things of that nature, but we understand that there was a certain level of empowerment that cannot be breached by the power of more lives. That manpower inadvertently brings royalty to all nations. So if you're the type of person who wants to really use the power that you have to give love to the people, I want you to seriously think about going into what would it feel like for you to invest in test tube babies. And I mean, I don't want to send us back to anything. I don't want to send us back to the slave days. I don't want to send us back to deprivation and the cries, the hunger, the suffering that the average woman goes through to just have one child, just to make a family. We want to go away from those days. As the people get older, we need to replace them with younger individuals. Individuals who can do the things that our parents can do, but can do things twice as fast or twice as more leisurely. Like we couldn't, without a conveyor belt, we could not have, put together certain products that could be sold on the market, brought down to the people. And even on the farmland, we could not plow great loads of the harvest from one place to another to feed a different community or to feed children in a different place without the advancement of modern technology. So I want you to think closely on what you believe you could do to help the innovations of test tube babies. Now, it's like I said, anybody who's been born in 1978 knows that there's been a successful project concerning test tube babies since 1978, and the women who were born then are still alive. I'm not quite sure if I don't think we had any sons. I don't think we grew any sons that way, but the women who were born then are still alive, and they have made lives for themselves. The innovation of this project was surpassing anything that you have ever seen before. I will leave a link at the bottom of the comments for those who wish to look onto the petition that we have for the advancement of test tube technology. Don't force our mothers to go through that kind of nonsense again, because it gets to a point where we become stagnant in our purpose for what life is supposed to be. Every time we feed a child, we should be making the society better. We should be making the society cleaner, more efficient, more pleasurable to everybody who comes around us. And it doesn't have to be about using illicit drugs or doing things that are out of the training scope of discipline or honor or piety, but just about relieving some of the stress of the daily work. Do not enslave our society when we have already been going through so much pain just to bring the people into this world from the beginning. That is not our intention. That is not the intention of God. Many people will say that the test tube baby, no, it's not spiritual enough. No, they practice demonology. No, they practice wickedness. Well, I'm going to tell you something right now. For your mother to have to lay up on a surgeon's table, spread her legs wide open, and go through the worst pain of her life in order to bring you into this earth, that has to stop. So, I'll leave the link behind. If you wish to sign the petition, you sign the petition and send it off to a friend to see if they can help us out with this new innovation. And all my 70s babies know that we've been doing this since 1978 successfully. And there are a few already 45, 43-year-old, 46, 40-year-old babies who were born in test tubes. No sex was necessary, no pain, no stress, just the seed and the removal of the ovary. So just check it out for me. Let me know what you think about it. I mean, some people will say it's Satanist, some people will say it's skipping and taking shortcuts, but I'm going to tell you right now, I don't want to have to live on the farm. I don't want to have to herd no sheep and goats. I don't want to have to do anything that would put defecation on my hands at all. You understand? Defecation or blood. Okay? Don't want blood or defecation on my hands. So make certain that what you are doing right now is moving us towards the path of a leisurely future. A future that cannot be disrespected with the birth of a new child. A child that cannot be disrespected simply because an old one is stubborn. This is Ben George. I'll speak to you soon.